All right, everybody. Let's dive into something delicious today. Fried chicken sandwiches.
Oh, yeah.
You know, those crispy, juicy, handheld wonders that have, taken over the fast food world?
Absolutely.
You guys, you sent in this awesome YouTube video by Joshua Weissman,
Yeah.
where he and his culinary producer, Christian,
hmm
they tried over 25 different fast food fried chicken sandwiches.
No.
And they drove all over America to do it, so we know you're serious about finding the best of the best.
Yeah, that's dedication.
So buckle up, because this deep dive is about to take your taste buds on like a wild ride.
It's interesting. What's really interesting about this video is that it's not just like a taste test.
Right.
It's like cultural commentary.
Yeah.
You know, Weissman, he actually points out how the rise of the fried chicken sandwich is like tied to this whole fast casual movement where people are willing to spend a little more for higher quality ingredients and unique flavor combinations.
Okay, so how do they even begin to tackle this massive fried chicken challenge?
Well, they had a system, Weissman and Christian. They rated each sandwich on a scale of 1 to 10 for looks, taste, and texture.
Makes sense.
Now, of course, taste is subjective,
Sure.
but this at least gives us a framework
Yeah.
for comparing all these different sandwiches, like side by side.
Yeah.
And it also highlights what they were looking for, you know?
Right.
A sandwich that's visually appealing, bursting with flavor, and has that perfect crunch.
And they didn't forget about the fast food, right?
Exactly. They timed how long it took to get each sandwich,
Oh, smart.
which I think is a fun detail for you.
Yeah.
Because, let's face it, you know, sometimes convenience is key.
Oh, absolutely.
Some places were lightning fast, like Jollibee, which clocked in at a crazy 1 minute.
Wow.
But others, like Dairy Queen, took over 7 minutes.
Oh, my God.
That's practically a lunch break.
That's so true.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the highlights.
Yeah.
Did any sandwiches really blow them away?
Actually, the winner was a bit of a surprise.
Oh.
Jollibee took the top spot.
Really?
Yeah, they were impressed by the simplicity of it. Juicy, flavorful chicken. Perfectly cooked with a crispy batter and a toasted bun.
Nice.
It wasn't trying to be fancy, it just nailed the fundamentals.
That's interesting because sometimes less is more, right?
Absolutely. Another top contender was Bojangles,
Okay.
which scored a double win.
Ooh.
What stood out to them was the Cajun seasoning.
Okay.
They said it had this unique blend of spices that really popped.
Yeah.
And the chicken was so incredibly juicy that they actually thought it was dark meat at first.
Wow.
The only downside was the bread wasn't quite up to par.
The importance of a good bun.
Right.
It's like the unsung hero of the sandwich world.
Totally. Now, another surprise was Carl's Jr.
Hmm.
They actually scored higher with their chicken sandwich than their burgers.
Interesting.
Weissman highlighted the freshness and flavor, saying the hand-breaded chicken had a great crunch and avoided that bitter oil taste you sometimes get.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So even some of the classic burger joints are stepping up their chicken sandwich game.
for sure. But let's not forget about the not-so-great sandwiches.
Right.
McDonald's, Burger King, White Castle, and Dairy Queen all landed in the disappointment zone.
Ouch. Those are some big names to be at the bottom of the barrel.
I know.
What went wrong?
It was a mix of issues. Stale bread was a common complaint, along with that dreaded bitter oil taste. They even said the cheese on some sandwiches was sweaty, which honestly just sounds unappetizing.
Yeah, not good.
They were particularly harsh on McDonald's,
Oh, no.
saying their McChicken was even worse than their hamburger.
I'm starting to feel a little bit of Friar's remorse myself just hearing about these.
Yeah.
But beyond taste,
Yeah.
were there any moments or details that stood out in the video?
There were a few. Remember how I mentioned Carl's Jr. scored surprisingly well?
Yes.
Well, they had a funny anecdote about that.
Okay.
Apparently, the worker at the drive-thru said, "My pleasure," when they got their food.
Uh-huh.
And Weissman commented on how that small gesture really enhanced the overall experience.
It's amazing how little things like that can make a difference.
I know.
Speaking of little things, what about sauce?
Oh, yeah.
Did they have any strong opinions on the sauce game?
Sauce, or the lack thereof, was definitely a recurring theme.
Okay.
They felt like some sandwiches were just too dry
Yeah.
and could have benefited from a generous helping of sauce.
Okay. I have to ask about Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Everyone seems to rave about their chicken sandwich.
Right.
Where did it land in their rankings?
This might surprise you,
Okay.
but Chick-fil-A actually fell short.
Really? Why?
They found it to be bland and lacking in flavor.
Oh, wow.
Weissman even used the word boring to describe it.
Harsh.
They felt like it needed more sauce
Mm-hmm.
and just didn't have the same punch as some of the other contenders.
Wow. I bet that's going to ruffle some feathers.
Probably.
But hey, to each their own right.
Exactly.
This is all about finding what you, the listener, enjoy. So before we move on to some of the other big names, let's pause for a second and see if you're craving any particular sandwich right now.
Yeah, think about it. It's funny you mentioned Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Because they actually compared it to Popeyes,
Uh-huh.
which, as you know, sparked those infamous chicken sandwich wars back in 2019.
Oh, yeah. I remember that everyone was going crazy for Popeyes.
Yeah.
So did Popeyes live up to the hype in Weissman's eyes?
Not really. They said it was good enough, but not mind-blowing.
Okay.
The texture was decent, but they found the flavor to be kind of basic.
So maybe the hype got a little out of control there.
It's possible.
Yeah.
You know, it just goes to show that virality doesn't always equal amazing taste.
That's so true.
And speaking of hype,
Yeah.
let's talk about another iconic name, KFC.
The Colonel. I'm curious to hear what they thought of the OG fried chicken chain.
Sadly, KFC didn't do so well either.
Oh.
They criticized it for being dry and lacking flavor. They even said they didn't think the Colonel would be proud.
That's got to sting a little.
Yeah.
It seems like some of these classic fast food giants are struggling to keep up with the newer, trendier chicken sandwiches.
Right, it's a competitive market out there now, if you're someone who likes things spicy.
Yeah.
They did have some good things to say about Dave's Hot Chicken.
Oh, yeah. Dave's is known for bringing the heat.
Exactly, they praised the natural heat, the crispy crust, and that unique addition of, like, red cabbage, which added a nice crunch.
Okay.
But even they said it could have used a little more sauce.
It seems like sauce is the key to a truly great chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
You need that moisture and flavor to really bring it all together.
Couldn't agree more.
So we've talked about the good, the bad, and the spicy.
Right.
Now, remember how we mentioned Carl's Jr. surprised them with their chicken sandwich?
Yes.
Yeah, they beat their own burger scores.
Right. Well, they actually compared Carl's Jr.
Okay.
to another chain that also redeemed itself.
Okay.
Hardee's.
Wait, aren't Carl's Jr. and Hardee's basically the same thing?
They're owned by the same company and have very similar menus.
Okay.
But they operate under different names in different parts of the country.
Interesting. So how did Hardee's fare?
They actually loved it.
Wow.
They were impressed by the hand-breaded chicken, the crispiness, and the overall freshness.
Nice.
It just goes to show that sometimes chains can really nail it when they focus on quality ingredients.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have.
We've talked about underdog winners, disappointing classics, and chains that are stepping up their game.
For sure.
But before we reveal the ultimate champion, let's address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
Chick-fil-A. This is a chain that people feel very strongly about.
Yeah.
Some swear it's the best, but Weissman and Christian weren't convinced.
Right, and this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
Because it challenges our assumptions about, like, popularity and taste. Just because something is widely loved doesn't mean it's objectively the best.
Right.
It's a good reminder that everyone has different preferences.
Totally. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there who think ketchup is the best pizza topping.
Oh, yeah.
No judgment,
For sure.
but it's not for me.
Exactly. Taste is so subjective.
Yeah.
But even though this deep dive is all about personal preference, Weissman and Christian did set out to find, like, the best fried chicken sandwich based on their criteria.
Yes.
So drum roll, please.
Don't leave us hanging.
The winner is Jollibee.
The underdog takes it all.
I know.
We talked about how much they enjoyed it earlier,
Yeah.
but what made it stand out as the champion?
They raved about how juicy and flavorful the chicken was. The batter was perfectly crispy, the bun was toasted just right, and the flavors were perfectly balanced.
Yeah.
It's a classic done right.
And remember, they got that sandwich in record time?
I know.
So not only was it delicious, it was also super fast.
It's the ultimate combination.
I think this is a great reminder that you don't need a fancy name or a huge marketing campaign to create an amazing product.
That's true.
Sometimes the best things are the simple things done well.
Absolutely. Now, I know we've thrown a lot of information at you, but before we wrap up, I want to hear from you.
Yes.
Have any of these sandwiches caught your attention? Are you, like, craving a taste of that Cajun spice from Bojangles?
Ooh, yeah.
Or maybe you're suddenly curious about this Jollibee champion we've been talking about.
I am definitely adding Jollibee to my list of places to try.
Yeah.
But even if none of these specific sandwiches have, like, sparked your interest,
Right.
I hope this deep dive has given you a new appreciation for the world of fried chicken sandwiches.
Oh, for sure. We've explored so much.
Yeah.
The criteria, the contenders, you know, those disappointing moments and those, like, unexpected champions.
Absolutely.
But what's fascinating to me is how this video goes beyond just ranking sandwiches.
Right.
It really makes you think about the cultural significance of the fried chicken sandwich, how it's evolved in the fast food industry, and how branding and perception play a role in our choices.
Yeah, it's like next time I'm at the drive-thru, I'm going to be thinking about all these factors, the ingredients, the process, the people behind the counter.
Right. And don't forget the power of your own taste buds.
Yes.
This whole experience has been a reminder that even in something as seemingly simple as a fried chicken sandwich, there's a whole world of factors at play.
So the next time you're facing a wall of tempting options, think about what you prioritize.
Yeah.
Is it speed, flavor, texture, or something else entirely?
What makes a fried chicken sandwich truly great for you? Maybe it's time to give that underdog a chance, or revisit an old favorite with a fresh perspective.
And hey, if you do try any of the sandwiches we talked about, let us know.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your thoughts.
Until then, happy eating.
Thanks for listening, everybody.